Hello everyone, my name is Ayomide Emmanuel Agbola. Welcome to my SQL learning documentary. Today we'll be looking at lead. Lead in SQL looks at the next row. It's usually used by, it can be used in business organization. Business owner, you can use lead to look at what is happening in your sales, in your activities as a business owner. It's the last video we talked about lag. Lag looks at what we have in the previous roles, in the previous sales, in the previous activities. Where lead look at what we have in the next. The normal English for lead and lag. In this video, we'll be looking at the question that returns the next transaction value while viewing the current row. For instance, if you have had some information about your sales, you want to look at what happened the next day, you can use the lead to check instead of you returning the information separately. Which means you can be looking at what we have today and still be looking at the next transaction tomorrow. So let's go into the query quickly and see what we are talking about. I'm going to select the onboarding dates. We are using our POS dashboard, which is our POS database, where we have our BO data. I will use the onboarding date, the transaction, and check the lead on the transactions. We want to check the lead on the transaction, the next transaction of the BOs. And it will be ordered by their date, the date of onboarding, the date that we onboarded them. That's how we're going to order them in this query. And don't forget that when you put your order by without maybe you telling it descending or ascending, which is ASC or DESA, it automatically arrange them in ascending order, which is the ASC. So I'm going to rename it as next transaction from the table, which is BOs, from BOs table. Yeah, now we're going to run it to see our result. You run it here to see the result. Now we see the previous day transaction, which is 1,000. The next day transaction also is 1,000, as we can see it on our result action pane there. We have the 1,000 for the previous day. The next day is 1,000 and is also 1,000 on our next transaction. So which is easier for you as a business owner to see what you have in the next day on your transaction list, instead of you returning them one after the other or repeating query to return same result. So this is what lead does in SQL. Like I've told us in the previous video how we use lag. It helps us to know the next thing in line, the next thing in our transaction, and it's like predictive. When you are predicting things, when you want to your transaction, you want to know the next thing to do, the next thing in action, and it can be practical, which I like I said earlier, can be practical. It can be used in our daily activities, in our businesses, and in our transaction, like I use it in this video. I hope you understand this, and I will see you all in my next video. Thank you.